Hey everyone, welcome to our 8th episode of Doc Lucky's Yo-Yo Talk. We're still in the middle of COVID-19 84, so you might as well just sit back and relax and enjoy the show because there's still not much else you can do. We've got a huge show tonight going on. We're announcing a very new big contest and the opportunity to win a Cold Fusion GT from the late 90s. This is a must-have classic yo-yo that broke the world sleeper record on more than 3 different occasions. And at one time, it was the most expensive retail yo-yo ever sold. So we're going to have more on how to win that yo-yo later in the show. And we, of course, will have our pop quiz with another amazing prize package. And congratulations to Rick Rentz, who won last week. He took down the Nickinator, but Nick still won the Mystery Magic Box last week, so he's still kind of the man to beat. From now on, we are going to require Nick to drink a 5th of Jack Daniels before the show just to even it out with everybody else playing. And Nick, just so you know, that heroin needle and syringe that you won in the mystery box did belong to my granny, and she's very ticked off right now. She had to use a very sharp-pointed turkey baster last night, and she's coming after you. Just forewarned, she has a tire iron, and she's kind of ninja-like, but just listen for the creaking of the legs in the middle of the night, and she also drools too. So something to think about, Nick. And for the first time, we're going to have 2 mini rapid fire pop quizzes that are going to be just 1 question each, and those will go on later in the show, so stay tuned for that. And our subject for the evening will be yo-yos that are also tops. So listen closely because there are no cliff notes on the show. And so let's get right into our prize package for tonight.
A very inspirational prize package tonight, and I'm sure Nick, our apex predator of the pop quiz, is out there ready to pounce. But Nick has given me the secret of success. He says that he drinks an entire bottle of Jack Daniels prior to the show. Not only does it double the enjoyability of the show, but it loosens up his texting fingers. The only drawback is he has to leave the rehab center to watch the show. There's a copy of Lucky's 20th Century Guide to Collecting Yo-Yos. I believe Nick has about 43 copies now. And a copy of my novel, The Immune, which is spot on allegorically for what's going on in the world right now. And a Doc Lucky yo-yo, and I might add these yo-yos are never sold, only given away or stolen. And there is a Duncan yo-yo and spin top trick book. I might add that the topic of our discussion tonight is yo-yos that can also serve as tops. So we've got a lot of tops in the prize package. There is a Silent Blade yo-yo from the Zombie Cause, one of a series of 5. And there is an Immune yo-yo to go along with the book. Here is a very nice Duncan tournament yo-yo from the 60s, minty mint on card with a pink color, which is relatively hard to find. Here's a top from Duncan. It looks like, I can't read which type it is, but it's a wood top from the 60s. Very nice there. There's a Sir Duncan right below it, plastic from the 60s. Spectra Star, Spider-Man, and Yo-Yo Jam. I think they're making a re-release of Yo-Yo Jam, so those yo-yos will undoubtedly go up in value, but probably not going to be as good as the first movie. There's some Spin Top Patch Awards from the 60s. And speaking of spin tops, here are a variety of spin tops. One there, that's the Hasbro Gyro yo-yo, which serves as a top and a yo-yo. Let's see what this one is. That's a Duncan Imperial top. That's from the 60s or 70s. I don't know what the big green one is. There's some wood tops down there below that are kind of nondescript. That's the Sir Duncan there. Here's some more wood tops, and then there's this weird yo-yo, which I can't see. Oh, here's a very nice yo-yo, a Raider that's about 20 years old, minty mint in package, and that's the original price tag right there. It's $20, and it's even more than that in the box now. So very nice yo-yo there. That World yo-yo. Okay, here's a little bit of trivia. Believe it or not, this yo-yo, not this particular one, I didn't remove it from the Smithsonian, is in the Smithsonian. They have a sample of this yo-yo in the Smithsonian. Unfortunately, I don't think it is worthy. Okay, there's that O-yo, which is kind of a bizarre thing, and that Orbit yo-yo, which is also not a yo-yo, it's more like the Eskimo yo-yo. The Duncan Imperial yo-yo is on a classic late 1990s card. Now, to answer the real question on everybody's mind is, how many nickel bags is this prize package worth? I'm going to guess 47. Let's do the calculations. And I am right. $235 for this prize package. And to put it in terms that Nick will understand, that's about 10 liters of Jack Daniels. Good luck to everybody.
Okay, so I just want to do a couple of shout outs here. I noticed Bob Rule just checked in, the legendary yo-yo demonstrator Bob Rule. Thanks for watching, Bob. Judith Schultz, who's the director of the Spinning Top Museum, and as appropriately is watching, since we're going to be talking about yo-yos that are also tops tonight, and a lot of other people that are regular folks, and we've got a couple of our past winners out there getting ready for the big prize package. But before we go any further, I promised you a mini quiz, and now for this one, it's going to be for 18 and unders. We want to give some of the younger folks a chance to win. We're going to give them a book and a Doc Lucky yo-yo if you can answer this question. The rules are very simple. I'm going to give you a question. The first person to answer it wins. That is 18 or under. Now, if you're over 18 and you say, well, nobody's answering the question, and you'll know exactly who this is, by the way, if you're some of the older guys in the yo-yo community. But feel free to go on and text some of your 18 and unders that you know and say, hey, sign in really quick and answer this question, and you might pick up this nice book and the yo-yo. So here is the question is, who is this person? He's well known for wearing Hawaiian shirts. He is the director of the National Yo-Yo Museum and the director of so many years of the National Yo-Yo Contest. I can't even remember how many years he's done that now. So the first person that is 18 and under is going to win that can answer who that guy is. You've just got the back view there of his famous Hawaiian shirt, and he used to wear that hat all the time too. So a good friend of mine and really a legend in the modern yo-yo world. So much stuff happened because of this guy. And we're still waiting to see. Chuck Short says he's 18 and under in dog years. That does not count, Chuck. So we may have to continue on and see. That'll give you some time to maybe text some friends that are 18 and under. Go on and give them a hint. We'll see. We will see who pops up here in the next few minutes with the correct answer. So now I am going to go and tell you about this new thing we're doing called the Celebrity Yo-Yo Contest. And let me just give you a little bit of the background and how this is kind of came about and the rules of the contest. So let's
So a lot of
right
folks
to that.
were wondering how I ended up yo-yoing with Carrot Top last Saturday. Well, many of you know I'm a competitive open water swimmer, and I host a daily lake swim at my house for the last 31 years. But I also do other events as well, and one of them happens to be the Jack Beatty Annual Swim, which has been also going on for 31 years. Well, Carrot Top lives next to Jack, and he's been volunteering for several years with his boat. He goes out there and chases the alligators away with it as we're swimming around the Isle of Sicily in Maitland. It's a 1 mile race. And if he doesn't chase the gators away, he uses the boat to collect the body parts after the fact. But anyway, I've gotten to know Carrot Top pretty well because he likes to go out in front of me and chum the water with blood as I'm swimming. And if I survive, then we usually have a drink or something like that afterwards. This time, it was National Yo-Yo Day, so I happened to have a couple of yo-yos in my pocket, and I said, let's throw some yo-yos, and he said, great. And now with that background, I'm going to segue into what I'm calling our Celebrity Yo-Yo Contest. And this is how you win that Cold Fusion GT. Now, this was released in 1998. These sold for $150 originally. They sell for hundreds of dollars now, so this is a really cool collectible yo-yo. And in addition to that, you're going to win a $100 trillion Zimbabwe note. And this is the real deal. $100 trillion in addition to the Cold Fusion, so you can't go wrong with that. So here's how you win the contest. First, you must find a celebrity. And if you don't know one, you probably know somebody that does know one. Then you need to take a picture or a video of them yo-yoing, and that's simple enough. So post it to Doc Lucky's Yo-Yo Talk group page, or you can just send it to me. And I don't care if you bribe them with sexual favors in order to get them to do it, but just don't contact them if they already have some sort of restraining order out against you. Okay, that kind of messes things up for us. So now our group talk members will decide on who the winner is through the days of September 20th through the 23rd. We'll have a vote, and you can join our group talk by just asking to join the group talk, so you can take part in that. And then we'll announce the winner on the show on September 24th. Now, what is a celebrity for this contest? Well, we'll define this very loosely. So, but it should not be associated with anybody in the yo-yo community. So like Steve Brown, you're out. Gentry Stein, you don't count. But here's some obvious examples besides TV and movie folks. You can get a Nobel laureate. You can do a politician, a best-selling author, Fortune 500 CEOs, professional athletes, Olympians, anybody that's in a Hall of Fame for anything, a Guinness World Record holder, YouTubers that have over 1 million followers, university presidents, and, supermodels, and I'm not available. So you can also get bonus points as well. So this would be a bonus vote. So if you're in the picture or video yo-yoing with a celebrity, that's a bonus point. If you're in the shower together with a celebrity, you get 3 bonus points and 5 if it's with a supermodel. And again, I'm not available. If you get them to say Doc Lucky's Yo-Yo Talk in any language except for Hivaro, now those folks shrink heads, and I really don't think that it's appropriate for this contest. Makes me kind of uncomfortable. This used to be a celebrity. I think it's Lindsay Lohan. I'm not sure. So if they complete a trick on the video that's more than just a simple gravity pull, that counts as an extra point. If you post it on your social media and get more than 1,000 views, that will also count. That's assuming that your mother has paid enough people to be your friends that you can do that. Now, here's a way to automatically win. If you get either Trump or Biden to yo-yo, that's a drop microphone event. You have automatically won. Now, this contest is clearly a shameless attempt at getting yo-yos out into the mainstream, so take it as such. Have fun with it. Go out and win that Cold Fusion GT yo-yo that is brand spanking in mint condition, and get that $100 trillion note, which will be probably very similar to what we'll be spending in the near future based on the rampant inflation that is going to happen in the next year. So I'll post all the rules on Doc Lucky's yo-yo page, group page tonight, so you can check them out.
Okay, so a pretty cool contest going on there. You got plenty of times to round up your celebrities and get those videos and photos in, and hopefully everybody will have a lot of fun with that. So anyway, tonight we are talking about yo-yos that also serve as tops. And let's bring up our little side camera there, Sean. And I want to just start with this one. This is a Wizmo. Wizmo was made in the early 50s, a year after the guy got a patent for this. Going opposite of what I need to do. There we go. So anyway, they patented this in 1953, and you'll see several permutations of this. Then it became the gyro yo-yo, and this is kind of a gyro yo-yo top. So that happened a few years later after the Wizmo. And then the one probably more of us are familiar with is like the Hasbro Top-A-Go-Yo. And again, you used it as a gyroscope, you use it as a top, you use it as a yo-yo. So that was kind of some of the earlier things going on there. Now, when you got out of the 50s and you went into the 60s, they had something called the Kusan Twin Twirlers. Here's one of the original packages for that. Now, they were a little bit different because they actually had contests, and they made 3 different models. That's the Flying Eagle model that was just there. This is the Falcon model here. It has kind of those little ribbed edges there. And the other one is called the Bat, which is it was either a clear plastic, or the rarer versions were these marbleized plastic versions, which were kind of cool. So they actually had these contests. And here's a thing in my book that I got wrong. I said in my book they didn't have patches. But lo and behold, there they are, twin twirler patches. And they had very organized contests. They actually even had a world championships. And here's one of the demonstrators, leader. Bob Babb was the other demonstrator that worked with the Kusan Twin Twirlers. And they ran local contests, and then they had actually a world championships, which was held in the 1964 World's Fair. So they gave out television sets and bicycles, same sort of thing as what Duncan did. And I think they, were capitalizing on Duncan. And they went for about 2 years. So the yo-yos aren't that common, or yo-yo tops, as I should say. So they're a nice little unusual thing to have, but kind of after that 60s yo-yo craze, they kind of went away too, by the wayside. Now, Duncan also was toying with doing a top yo-yo as well around this time. And here is one of their prototypes. Now, you'll notice that definitely top shape, and this is really cool because it is a prototype. This was back when they were just coming out with their satellites. So they fiddled around with this, and I asked Don Duncan Jr. about this, and he said, yeah, they looked at it as a potential, but they just didn't feel. It's got a little tiny metal thing there on the tip there for the top, but it just wasn't the right time for them. So they made some prototypes. There's a half a dozen. Some of those prototypes used to be in the Duncan Museum collection that was going around, and I just happened to score one of those on eBay. Then you get in some weird things. Now, I'm not even sure this is a top. I think it is, but it is a Pinocchio. This has nothing to do with the erotic adventures of Pinocchio. There was a little movie out in 1971. And I just want to say I have no idea how I know that movie was in existence. And so anyway, that's a Pinocchio yo-yo. There's probably a top. And speaking of kind of weird-looking tops and things that probably shouldn't be mentioned, this is the Cheerio Double Doozer. Now, here's the thing. This thing pops out, or maybe it isn't going to. Let me see if I can get it out of there. Okay, so it's got a little insert there, which this thing, whatever you want to call it. I've heard it called different things before. That made the double doozer into a pop that was made by was made by Cheerio. And it was kind of odd because they called it the double doozer rainbow, and there's, I think, another version of it too, but they didn't call it a yo-yo. And in Canada at the time, they did own the trademark for yo-yo. So I don't know why they didn't put yo-yo on there unless they were just trying to promote the top a little bit more. Now, here's an interesting one from around, I believe it was around 1990. They came out with the Yomega. This is the Gemini Gyro, and this is a yo-yo top too. I think this is the original one. I think there was a couple different versions of this. They went to one where they had some of these refractive pogs that were in the top, and so you could use it as a yo-yo, you could use it as a top. And these actually bring pretty good prices. They've sold for as high as $400 on eBay, usually in the $400 to $300 range loose, a little less, maybe in the $50 to $75 range. So again, they didn't make them that long. The early ones like this are pretty rare. Then we get into the more modern stuff. Here is a Yo 2. That was out fairly recently. I've never seen one played. I don't know how good it is. I will say this, I think that was kind of maybe a little bit of a knockoff of that Project 213 that Doc Pop had back in the day. I think they were all handmade. I don't think they ever sold the P213s. I saw a video of Chris Neff playing it, and it was quite impressive watching him play that P213. P stands for project, I believe. So neat little yo-yo there, but yeah, I'd like to get a hold of one of those Project 213s. And then here's what we would consider a modern yo-yo. This is the Yo-Yo Joka. It's a Brazilian yo-yo. This is their G6. Now, the weird thing is I've seen a lot of G6s. I've never seen them with this pointy side bearing like this. I think this one can draw blood, so I don't know if they actually sold it. This may have been a prototype because usually the finish was a little bit different. So I'm not sure on the origin of this particular one. It's certainly a bizarre G6, but anyway, apparently a pretty good playing yo-yo. I don't know how it works as a top, but I think it would work as a top, perhaps. But anyway, so that's kind of an overview on yo-yos that are tops, and we need to go right into our next little mini quiz. And I am going to say this is open to anybody. It is for a Lucky's periodic table of yo-yos, and if you're a newbie, you may not have this hanging in your living room, but a lot of the top players do have this framed and hanging in their living room or in their yo-yo room. This was given out at one of the World Championships. We only made like 300 of them. We haven't made any more. So they're quite rare now. There's only a few of these left out there. I don't even know if you can buy them anywhere or not. So, first person to answer this correctly wins. I don't think we've had any. Let me check the. I don't think we've had anybody get that first prize. What? Had not yet. So text you, anybody you know that's under 18, say, hey, it's up for grabs, and give them a hint of who it is too. So anyway, I'm going to show you a photo in just a second, and the question is, who is this? It is the first and only female to participate in the Modern National Yo-Yo Championships in 1993. That is the absolutely only thing this person is known for in the yo-yo world, other than being a hottie, and I hit on her the entire tournament in 1993. So go on and show that photo if anybody can tell me who that person is. This is for anybody. You don't have to be under 18. First person that gets this gets the Lucky's periodic table of yo-yos. I figured we'd have an answer already, but we're still waiting for people to type. There it is, 1993, the only female on the stage at that time. Little background history. That is not Jennifer Baybrook. Come on, give me a break. It's not Linda Singh Powell either. Come on. Let me just give you another hint. I roomed with this person at the 1993 Nationals. Okay, you got it. Tim Stimco. Okay, good man, you got it. It is Jackie Meisenheimer, my wife. And the background story is we were all at lunch prior to the contest, and Don Duncan was saying, wow, we don't have any women signed up. We really need to have some women. And then he looked at my wife and said, you should enter the contest. And she's going, no, I don't even know how to do yo-yo tricks. So I got up from the table, he taught Jackie how to do 3 yo-yo tricks, and the rest is history. So now she has the honor of being the first woman up on the modern stage for the National Yo-Yo Championship. So we'll get you a poster. I think, Tim, you already have a poster, but that's okay. You can find a word. Huh? Yeah, he's got a signed poster, Sean. So anyway, that'll come in the mail. We'll get your snail mail address and go from there. Guys, reach out to those 18 and under, see if they can score one of those books here. So now we're going to go into my fun part of the show, the hot auctions of the week. Let's just jump right in.
Doc Lucky's Flaming Hot Auction Picks of the Week.
Okay, here we go. Hot auction number 3.
Number 3, Hot Pick of the Week.
Okay, because we're talking about yo-yos that are tops, I just happened to find this twin twirler that is for sale right now on eBay. The unusual thing about this one, it has the swirled plastic, or what we call marbleized plastic. They actually use those plastics to, I think, lower the cost of producing yo-yos and tops back in the 60s. But they had really neat patterns, and they didn't make as many of them as they did with the regular just opaque or see-through or translucent. So this is kind of hard to find. And at $25, I don't have one of these, and I was looking at it now. So it may be just a wee bit high on the price tag. That's why I've got it on as my pick number 3 instead of higher up. But it is a nice swirled plastic twin twirler from the early 60s. So you don't see many of those around. So let's jump into hot auction number 2.
Number 2, Hot Pick of the Week.
Oh my, another twin twirler. Now this is a different model than you just saw. I think this is the Flying Eagle model, if I'm correct on that. But it's loose, and you say, well, why is this higher than the marbleized one that was the bat one? And the reason on this is because of the current price. Now, it may have gone up since I posted or looked this up on eBay, but it's in pretty good condition. It's a twin twirler from the early 60s. This is kind of their premier model, the Eagle. And look at the price, $5. How can you turn a $5 twin twirler out? You know, it's just, it's too good a price not to list this. So that is why it is listed as number 2. 1960s, nice twin twirler at a really reasonable price. Somebody should gobble this up at that price. So now let's go on to pick number 1.
Number 1, Hot Pick of the Week.
Okay, so here's a wood top from the 50s. It is a Lucky E Jadu contest top. It's a Duncan. And the Luck is from, presumably from Luck, Wisconsin. Jadu is the first 2 letters of Jack Duncan and Don Duncan, which were Don Duncan Sr.'s sons. So this was kind of an offshoot yo-yo. It's kind of rare, but here's the thing. It's 99 cents 99 cents with only $4 shipping. You can't beat that if you don't have a Jadu. Yeah, it's a little bit worn, but man, I looked for one of these for years before I got my first one. So if you're out there, you're a yo-yo collector and you don't have it, you've got a missing slot for this yo-yo. Historically, it's kind of neat and important. It's certainly worth picking up for 99 cents. So that's why it is my top pick for the week, the Lucky E Jadu Yo-Yo by Duncan from the 50s. All right, now let's go to the scorching score. I'll just remind everybody the scorching score doesn't necessarily mean that it's usually one that I just want to talk about. It's an auction that already happened. I may be aggravated with the auction, or I just may want to talk about the auction. So let's go to the scorching score.
Mr. Bandalore's scorching score of the week.
All right, here we go. We've got 2 Hallmark Snoopy yo-yos. Now, you may say, well, I see those, though. Why is this the scorching score? Well, first of all, they're on card. Now, you'll notice the little plastic thing's a little loose, but that's okay. It's fine to re-glue those things and to remount that little seal that's loose off there and recenter it. No problem with that at all. The cards are in pretty good shape. These yo-yos usually go for $20, $25. Look at that price right now, $5.50. You can't beat that for these because normally individually, like I said, these are going to sell for in the $20 range because it is a cross collectible. Now, one thing I will say on this is a Hallmark yo-yo. They made these in the 70s. It'll say on the little seal that copyright 1958, I think. That is just when it was copyrighted. That's referring to the Snoopy. That's not when the yo-yos were made. And a lot of times people will say this yo-yo's from the 50s. They're not. They're from the 70s, but they are in the $20+ price range usually when they're on the card. So that is why, and that's why that $5 price tag they got it for. Man, what a steal. What a steal. So congratulations whoever scored those two Snoopy yo-yos. That was my scorching score of the week. And now we're going to get into the nasty dog of the
Nasty, nasty dog of the day.
Okay, here it comes. These are the Animal Maniac yo-yos from around 1995. Now, these are really cheap tin yo-yos, and if you got any of those Oriental Trading Company yo-yos, which there's a zillion of out there that they made in the 90s. I think they still make Oriental Trading Company yo-yos. They're really cheap tin yo-yos. They don't play well at all. The best you can do is make it go up and down. Oh, but you can score these for $225. And the good news is it's free shipping. So for $225, you can buy these yo-yos that are probably NTPs, not worth the NWPs, not worth the postage. I have them in my collection. And I checked on these a little bit further. I said, why does this person think it's worth so much? Well, the person selling it collects this specific cartoon character, and they've got a lot of other character stuff set. So maybe the cross collectors value this a lot more than yo-yo collectors. I don't know. But $225 makes this my nasty dog of the week. So let's see, where are we at now? So I think we're getting ready for what everybody's been waiting for, our pop quiz. I know that Nick is out there sharpening his teeth, ready to go. And I guess we just ought to jump right into the pop quiz. So here we go.
Doc Lucky's Pop Quiz. One shot, one champion. First to answer both questions in the Facebook comments wins. Get ready.
This trophy is from a contest from one yo-yo top brand. If you've been listening, you should know exactly what this is. And what is the copyright date toes here. And for all you guys that just jumped in at the last minute watching the show, about a dozen of you guys are all dumb. You should be forced to watch the entire show. Okay. We're looking for answers coming through. What's the no cutie doll? So far, we're looking for answers coming in now. Still no luck. Oh, so close. We had one that was within a year. The twin toilet? All right. We're still watching the numbers come in. I'm going to give you a hint. You guys are having a hard time. It's in the 50s. Somebody was within 1 year. All right. I'm checking these responses coming in. We're still working on this. It's close. Getting closer. Like I said, I've given you a hint. It's in the 50s. Oh, wow. Another one missed it by 1 year. Unbelievable. We've got one on one side, one on the other. We're still working on it. Somebody's going to hit that year in the 50s in a second. Got to have both in this.
How many years can there be in the 50s?
Guys, there are only so many years in the 50s. Come on. This is getting ridiculous. Oh, you're putting things in that have been put in before. Oh, Tim, you win. Tim Simcoe, you win, my friend. Twin Twillers, 1954 is the copyright date. If you were listening closely, I said it was the year after it was patented in 1953. Judith Schultz was very, very close. But Tim, you are the winner, my friend. Congratulations, and send me your snail mail so we can get that out to you. For the rest of you guys, if you can get somebody to pop in that's 18 or under and answer that question right, I'll score them a book and a Doc Lucky yo-yo. So somebody watching this show must know somebody under the age of 18. Give them a hint and get them winning that prize. Now, for next week, we have a really special guest who we've already been speaking of tonight. He is a giant in the yo-yo community. Yes, it will be Bob Maloney. We will be talking about Open Nationals, Junior Nationals, the Yo-Yo Hall of Fame. We're getting ready to get that up and going again. And it is a show not to be missed, as we will have another great prize package. We'll have a couple of those rapid-fire quizzes. And always remember, you can never have too many yo-yos. Doc Lucky signing off.